Hi there, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to Mixed Media Mayhem combined with Kit Conspiracy. So today's formula for Mixed Media Mayhem, which is a series we do every Friday, and we have a recipe that we use the first few Fridays of the months, and this is stamps, modeling paste, and tissue paper for today's layout. The last Friday of the month, we usually do a scrap lift of somebody. And so everyone is invited to join and play along with that. And you can do that by going to our Facebook group for Mixed Media Mayhem. And the inspiration piece will be there earlier in the month so that you can play along and post on the last Friday of the month. So I apologize you didn't get to see me do the packaging technique to use that blue. That is actually Uncharted Mariner Distress Oxide spray, and I just did the packaging technique to put it on, and then I did a little bit of splatter with it and some splatter of some Distress Oxide Twisted Citron. And then as you saw there, I just used some stamps with some Ranger Archival ink, and now I am using this tile. I think it's called tile. I don't know. I'll put a link down below for the stencil. It's from the Crafters Workshop. And I am using some Marcasite Stardust butter from the Crafters Workshop. And it is kind of like a sparkly, charcoaly black. And I really like the way that it ends up looking. So I have these two photos. These are my son in 2008. We are riding this it's not a merry-go-round, it's a carousel. And I never knew what the difference was until there was a guy at an antique carousel that we were at, and he said the difference is the direction that they turn. I don't know how true that is, but this one is called a carousel, and it is actually from 1911. And so he's on this carousel, and there's this arm. You can see this arm in the bottom picture that sticks out, and he's reaching for this arm, and there's these brass rings that you can pull out. You can see the brass ring right underneath the word awesome there to the right, bottom right of it. You pull that ring out, and then if you see in that bottom photo, there is a big clown on the wall. You're supposed to throw the ring into the clown's mouth. And I think if you get it in the clown's mouth, you get some kind of prize or something. It's very hard to do. And then there's a receptacle that catches the rings down at the bottom. Well, somehow this ring made it home with us, and my son has had it for many years. Obviously, because this picture's from 2008, and it's been sitting on my scrapbook desk for over a year and a half, maybe even longer. And so I'm like, it's finally time to use them. I'm finally to these photos, and I'm going to get it on this page. So yeah, that is what that is all about. Okay, so I put a piece of paper behind my two photos there just to hold them together, because if you have ever tried putting tissue paper behind photos, you probably know it's not the easiest thing when there's more than one photo, because the tissue paper rips if you try and use like ATG gun, and I didn't want it to do all kinds of weird things with the glue, and I'm doing 2 layers, so I wanted my photos just to be one solid piece that I could trim around and not have them like all wonky, because trying to get them lined up next to each other, I knew I wouldn't, once my photo touches that tissue paper, it's there for good. I can't lift it up and move it around to get it situated right next to the other one, is basically what I'm trying to tell you. So I just kind of put a piece of paper behind the middle of them to hold them in place together while I did that. Now I know I want a strip of this striped paper along the edge, and I just want a tiny bit of it to show, so I put a little bit of liquid glue on the edge of my paper, and I'm sticking it down, waiting for it to dry a bit, and then I will trim off the excess. I find that's easier to do than trying to trim a tiny little bit of the paper and get it lined up with the edge. If it's like a 1/4 inch paper or larger, no problem, but I just wanted even smaller than a 1/4 inch showing, so that is the route I went. So I'm liking the word awesome there. Here I'm going to go ahead and cut off the excess piece here, just so I know exactly where the edge of my paper is, and you can see there, and it is not perfectly straight up and down. It's a little bit tilted, It's narrower at the top than the bottom, and that's okay. I kind of like that. So I am cutting off another little piece of it to put on the left-hand side of the photos, just peeking out. And I like that because it's not covering up a lot of the mixed media, but it is bringing those colors right over to the other side. And those colors work really well because the arm that holds those rings has like yellow and red and blue on it. So I thought that was perfect. And I'm going to use that ring as an embellishment on here. And I know it's just a ring. It's actually quite heavy. And it's solid. It's not like it's just a little piece of pot metal. But I'm going to actually make it a part of the layout rather than like, oh, here, look at this ring that we, brought home with us type of deal. So anyway, it's going to be part of the layout. It's there is a sticker you can see on the tweezers on the right hand side there that is a circular piece, and it fits right underneath that ring. And so I'm going to stamp the date inside that circle, and then the ring is going to go around it. And at first I thought I was going to put it right there where you see it. And I move it around quite a bit, but it ends up going at the bottom of the bottom photo. So yeah, I thought it was going to go just to the right of the photo, but it ends up going at the very bottom. So I'm going to add the foam to the word awesome to give it a little bit of height. I definitely want to give height to a few things on this layout, especially since that ring is very dimensional. And I find that using the fun foam from Walmart, it works very well, because it's adhesive on one side, and then I can just, as you can see here, I can just like put my thumbnail down and pull, and it pretty much cuts it for me. I don't have to cut every single little piece, which gets kind of annoying after a period of time, I think anyway. It's much faster this way. So I like the density of it too. It's not super, some of them when you pull them apart, it like keeps stretching and stretching and stretching. This one stretches a little, but not so much that it's kind of like really annoying. So the stamp sets that I use there, it's actually 2 different stamp sets. I will put the names down below for that as well. I apologize that one of them, I know the striped one is really old. The sunburst one, I don't know if that is it if that one is available anymore either. They're both from Stampin' Up. But the one with the stripes is definitely not available. I actually had to buy it on eBay from somebody because they didn't have it. And I saw MK used it. I don't think she used these stripes. I think she used a different stripe. But I was like, oh my gosh, I love that stamp set. I'm going to have to get that. So yeah, I will put the name. And, if you are somebody who likes to go and track things down, you can go and track it down. Otherwise, all the names of everything else will be down below, all of the mixed media items that I used, in case you are interested in purchasing any of those. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put the title down where it says awesome, and then it says too legit to quit underneath, and then it says play hard underneath that. I'm liking the way that looks. I really love mixed media with these boy layouts. I like it with the girl layout too, but the boy layouts are really cool because you can make them as grungy as you want. And so I think that's a lot of fun. I am cutting out some stars for this using this paper. There's a piece of paper in this collection that has stars all over it. And one side is like a tealy green color and has little plus marks all over it. And the other side is stars. And that is a paper that I purchased 3 of because I knew I was going to want to cut the stars out. And then I would want the green paper for a double page layout potentially. So here's where the stars come into play. And I actually use them again on a couple of other layouts. So lots of stars going on this week. And I just love how they look. So, okay, so I'm finally trying to figure out where that circular piece is going. Well, I thought I was. Yep, there it is. Okay, so it is going to go at the bottom. I'm trying to figure out where I want each star. The circular piece has like orange around it, so I swapped and put the orange star up at the top to bring in the orange up above. The little half star on the right hand side has orange and blue on it already. And then the star that is next to that circular piece brings in the blue down to that corner, the bottom corner of the photograph. And I was just trying to make sure that I don't cover up the clown's face, because his face is, I'm going to talk about that in the journaling. You don't get to see the journaling on screen because a lot of times I don't do my journaling before I photograph. But I am going to talk about the story that I pretty much already told you guys, that the idea is to take that brass ring as you're going around on the carousel and throw it into that clown's mouth. So, and this carousel still runs today. These photos were from 2008. It is a historical carousel from 1911. And I'm going to have another layout with my daughter on the same carousel where it actually talks about the carousel being so old. So this particular layout doesn't talk about that. So more stars. I'm just trimming out to finish off the layout. And I'm just going with the smaller ones. I don't want to cover up too much of the mixed media, but I want to make sure that I don't just have one star in each spot. I want to have 2 or 3. Probably 3 because, you know, those odd numbers, they work well in design. So, but, you know, 2 or 1 in each area would work because technically, you know, if you do a triangle, that's 3. It definitely works. But I really enjoy building up my clusters like this. So a little bit of foam tape on the back of them just to give them a little bit of pop. I don't I don't have it like all the way out to the tips on these little tiny ones, but on the big ones I will put it down towards the end of the tip of the stars so that they don't get squashed. And of course I like them in 3 different sizes just to give some different interest to it, and I'm really liking how that looks. So there I have the brass ring. I don't know if it's actually brass, but it is a ring. The ring is on top of that sticker, and you can see the orange in real life. It's hard to see on the screen here, but the little orange ring that was on the sticker is slightly visible to the inside of the metal ring. So I'm liking how that's looking. In case you're wondering how I'm going to adhere that down, I am going to use some crystal lacquer, and I used to use crystal lacquer all the time. It's a little bit like glossy accents. I used to use it all the time in my layouts before Nuvo Deluxe adhesive was a thing, and I still have a bunch of it, but it works great for metal. And so you just have to let it dry, and it dries clear, but it adheres that metal down really well. So there I've stamped the date, and yes, that stamp goes back to 2008. That is from October Afternoon. It's one of their Decades stamps, no longer available, and good luck trying to find it. But I have it going back to the 1980s. It's a great stamp set, or a great line of stamps. I don't know why October Afternoon quit making it even before they quit making paper. So there's my completed layout. Don't forget to check out everyone else who is playing along with Mixed Media Mayhem. I did use my stamps. I used tissue paper and modeling paste. So I completed the recipe, and this is also for Kit Conspiracy. All the links again are down below for you guys. Go check it out. I will be back again tomorrow with another video. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.